So before the video starts, I wanted to announce that we're having our 10-year anniversary. It's 10 years of doing RBG and you guys supporting us for all those years. So we're gonna have a big blowout meetup at Turkey Bay. So if you're interested in coming, you can go to rbgcarts.com/events. You can find out the information, and Turkey Bay is an amazing place to ride. If you have a yard cart with no suspension, a mini bike with no suspension, all the way up to a Jeep, you can come and ride with us. You can take a minivan through there if you want to. But it's a great time. They have camping there on site. You can tent camp or camp in a camper. You do have to have a generator. They don't have power hookups. There is some cabins down the road that you can rent, but they do sell out super fast. So if you're interested in coming and wanting to use a cabin, you might want to do that now to go ahead and book your spot. Even if you don't have something to ride, we would love to see you out there. We have people every year come that don't have anything to ride. They just hang out with us. And Scott, the Deuce man, is going to have a centipede there, and he'll be giving rides because he'll have up to 4 extra seats. So if you don't have nothing to ride, there's a good chance you can get rode on something. But we'd love to see you out there. We're giving away a ton of stuff. Make sure before the event, if you're planning on coming, to check Turkey Bay's website. We've had times where a big rainstorm or something comes and they'll cancel last minute. So we're going to be updating you guys. So make sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date with everything that's going on. But make sure to check it out. We'd love to see you out there. We're going to have a lot of people out there like EC Carburetors, if they can come, and Small Engine Warehouse, and giving away a lot of stuff. And we just want to spend our time with you, hang out by the fire, ride some, and just fellowship. Thank you guys for supporting us for all these years. We hope to see you at our 10-year event at Turkey Bay.
Today we're going to build a full stainless steel exhaust for a 670cc Predator that we just finished up a stage 4 build on. We got a bunch of random bends and tubing, so let's get right into it. When welding stainless, you want everything to be as clean as possible, so I make sure to wipe all my rods as well as my tubing down with acetone before welding. I have to make a couple of 180-degree bends out of some 90s. Of course, I could have bought some 180 bends, but I'm trying to use what I have on the shelf already. I'm going to use the two 180s to make an X-pipe. Using the fence on the bandsaw, I can evenly cut off the back to make my merge. I'm using these 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 inch reducers sold on RBG carts and welding them to my exhaust flanges to help step it up from 1 1/4 to 1 1/2. All right, so I've been working at this exhaust trying to figure out how exactly I'm going to do it, because we want a muffler on each side of the swing arm. This is the mufflers the customer wanted. He basically wanted a removable silencer. So certain trails you have to have this, or if you just don't want it to be loud. So we're gonna mount one on each side of the swing arm like this. The other one will be right here. Everything will clear the pulleys. So what we have to do is start tacking up a bunch of parts. I'm going to back purge this and TIG weld all this in sections instead of building it all as one, because you do get a little bit of tweaking when you're welding stainless. But this is how the main header is going to be. We built these flanges that go from 1 1/4 up to 1 1/2. This whole exhaust will be 1 1/2 inch. We have these bellows on each side. That's going to allow for some twisting and bending, just to help get both exhausts lined up to the heads. Now on a 670, this head exhaust port is out further than that one. I had to actually cut some off of this one to make it line up. I didn't know that beforehand. So this one sits back in, this one sits further out, just how the heads are built. But the X pipe will go on right after these two bellows with 2 short pieces of tube, and will stick out kind of like that. And we can build a support off the block that'll support this exhaust. So let's quit talking, get a bunch of pieces tacked together, and then we can start the process of back purging and getting it all done. Woo! Fresh pair of Defiant metal gloves. These are the best, most comfortable gloves I've ever had. Made a big mistake. I don't know what I was thinking, but I welded this 90 on, and that is not the right orientation. Gosh dang. Great. Now I gotta take a cut off disc, hit these 3-4 tacks very lightly until I can pop this off and rotate it, and then get it back on the buggy, the engine, before I can correctly put it right. It drives me crazy. Why did I do that? So we're going to be back purging the tubing as we weld it. I'm going to weld this in sections. You can see I got my merge pipe. And this is not your traditional style merge pipe. Normally they don't 90 out each side, but it works out perfect for this V-twin, and that's why I did this merge setup. So we have our extensions already figured out and welded on. This will slide into each runner that goes to the heads and weld up. So what I'm going to do is fully weld this before welding the rest of it. We're going to do it in sections, so we only have a few welds left, and that's going to keep the problem of stuff drawing up and tweaking down to a minimum. But we have these purge plugs. You're going to put one down low and the exit up top, so the one with the barb on it goes down low. Argon is heavier than oxygen, so what's going to happen is it's going to purge out all the oxygen. So when I weld this, it's going to also weld it on the inside and get an even stronger weld. So here's a picture on screen that shows with and without back purging. You can see the sugar, as they call it, porosity that builds up on the inside of the tube. I am going to have to grab a different size. These are 1 1/2, but it doesn't fit in this 1 1/2 inch tubing actually. It may, but it's going to pop out. So I'm going to grab the next size down. These do have these stainless steel screens that help disperse the flow of gas evenly. These are from TIG Aesthetics. They sent us out a big kit of these a while back, and we absolutely love them. If you really want to get super high quality welds, you have to back purge it. And then the boys at Furic sent us out a little care package of their tipped, or their cups. And this is basically more than I'll ever need. I'm probably going to stick around maybe this 10 here will be what I use for generally everything, but super high quality welding equipment. Make sure to check out Furic as well as TIG Aesthetics. Massive shout out, they're helping me do this job as best of my ability. So again, we're going to use a 10 on this. This is a Jazzy 10, that's what I'll be running. But again, he has a ton of stuff from the Clear Boys. All this is made in-house by Furic, so check them out. All right, one of the last things is I have to weld on this oxygen sensor bung. Now, I don't have a wideband, so I'm just gonna cap it off with the bolt that comes with it. Now, this isn't stainless, even though it was sold as a stainless piece. It is not. A magnet sticks to it, it's not stainless. But this whole exhaust is getting Cerakoted, so it doesn't really matter. It all welded nicely and it's all cleaned up good. So we're gonna drill a hole here and TIG weld this puppy on right there. That puts it, you know, about 8 or 9 inches from the head. I was going to do it here, but one of my buddies who builds stuff like this for cars said that this would not be a good spot in the X-pipe because of some turbulence that could be happening in there, that he would do it right here. So I'm going to trust his opinion just for a reading so he can tune his carb. So I'm going to start with a small drill bit, and now I'll probably have to Dremel the last little bit. Break through that quick. So that exhaust sounded super awesome. I'm really happy with how it's set up. It's a very large, crazy exhaust, but nothing's in the way of it. It's going to work out really good. We do need a CVT belt. You can see how it's setting in there. This is a thinner belt than we should be running, and most likely we'll eventually have to pull this pulley and preload that spring more. It just depends. And the drive pulley, we'll have to put some springs in it to make it engage a little higher so he has more drivability, but that's all with fine tuning this thing. But let us know what you think about this crazy X-pipe exhaust. We tried to do semi-equal length. It's not equal length. The passenger side is a longer runner than the driver. I could have did a full loop in it, but it's not that important. I mean, yes, it'll help your horsepower a little bit, but it's not going to be like huge number difference like on no butt dyno. So let us know what you think about this stainless exhaust. Thank you, Furic, for sending out the cups for our TIG welder. Prime Welds for holding us down. We've been using the same Prime welders now. My TIG welder I've had for over 5 years, and we have ran that thing hard, especially when we weld aluminum. I don't give it a break. I have a water-cooled torch. I run it hard welding this stuff on like 180 to 200 amps, and she gets toasty, never kicks off. So check out Prime Weld Spirit cups, and we'll link some of our bends for the stainless and our V bands and everything, so you guys can replicate this exhaust on your beard. What? On your build. Thank you guys, we love you, and God bless.